Good morning. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. We are very pleased to be here today, and we've got a great program in store for you. Tom just kind of gave you a little preview of what we're going to be talking about, and that is 3 really important topics to Rotary. That's our membership, our branding, our public image, and the foundation, combined together. We want to focus today on how to attract, but really more important, how to retain the members that we have. And we want to make sure that everybody has a positive Rotary brand experience, that they feel that Rotary is worth their time, that we exceed their expectations. And we want to do that today with you too. We want to make sure that this event is worth your time. And so we've got all sorts of things that are going to go on today. We've got activities to do. You're going to leave with lots of ideas. Hopefully you all have a workbook in front of you. Okay? And we're going to fill that with an action plan or action steps. And those are things that you can do right away when you get back to your clubs. And so that you can start making a difference in your attraction and retention and the overall Rotary brand experience immediately. Steve, you want to introduce yourself a little bit further?
Yeah. My name's Steve Ligenbrink, and I'm actually a trial attorney up in Kirkland, Washington. I live in Bellevue. I've been married for 29 years, and we have 2 children, both adult children. One's married and one's about to become married in August. And in addition to lawyering, I really enjoy wine collecting, travel, and riding on my Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Wendi?
Thank you. And I should probably tell you a little bit more about myself. I run a nonprofit called America's Foundation for Chess, and I have been married for 18 years. We have 2 children. I have a teenage daughter. If anyone knows that, you're like, you can feel my pain. She's 16, going on 23, and I have a 15-year-old son. And we love to travel in my family. We take the kids everywhere we can. Most recently, though, we took a trip without them. It was my husband's 50th birthday, and we went to Africa and went on a safari. And it was absolutely incredible. And if I'm not traveling, doing Rotary, or working, you can usually find me baking. That's one of my passions, is to make cookies and pass them out. So
what did you notice about those introductions? Personal? What else?
Broad.
Mm-hmm. Family. Do you know something about me that you didn't know before? Tom?
Yeah, I found out you ride motorcycles, and I do too.
Right. How much Rotary did you hear in that? Mm-hmm.
Do you feel more connected to us? Probably there's something that all of you in here could think, oh, I could talk to Steve or Wendi about that. Maybe someone here wants to go on a safari. So these connections are really important. And this is what we want to talk about today, is building connections. Because if all we talk about is Rotary, we're not getting to know each other. Do you know the people in your club? Do you know what they do? Do you know how they like to spend their time? Do you know about their families? It's hard to care about people if you don't know about them. And that's part of retention, keeping our members as part of our Rotary family and knowing about each other. So in your workbook, page 26 and 27 is a notes section. And we're hoping that you will use that today whenever you hear an idea, or if you have a question, you can write it down to ask us later. But these workbooks are yours. You can write in them, you can take notes, you can scribble, whatever you want to do. So if you need another copy, you can always get a digital copy online at the Zone website. But feel free to use these to your advantage and take as many notes as you can so that you go home with these ideas.
Great. Well, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, take a moment to turn to your neighbor and tell your neighbor something really good that's going on in your club about membership. Go ahead, just take a moment. One of the key outcomes today that we're hoping that you'll understand is what a Rotary Brand Experience is. And how many have heard the term Rotary Brand Experience before? Okay. Now today you're going to see some familiar aspects that you might have seen last year if you attended this seminar, but there's a whole lot of new material that's contained in this. And so when we hit a couple areas that are new, like this slide, you'll notice that it references Siegel and Gale at the top. How many of you have heard of Siegel and Gale? Quite a few, okay? Yeah, word's getting out about that. It was a survey that Rotary had done 4.5 years ago now, and they were exploring why people join Rotary and why people stay in Rotary. If you were to be really brutally honest and think to yourself, what is the selfish reason that I joined Rotary? What would it be? Anyone? Yeah.
To get stronger ties with the community.
To get what?
Stronger ties with the community.
Stronger ties to the community. Anyone? Yeah.
For my job.
For business. Yeah. A lot of us originally joined for networking or business. Yeah. You,
Joined it so I wouldn't have to do work parties, because I was in Lions and every week we had to go to New York.
so you saw the light. One more.
I was president of the chamber, and everybody on my board was part of Gateway Rotary, so I was forced to join.
Great. Chamber of Commerce. A lot of times there's a link to that. Well, good. You know, when Siegel and Gale did this survey, they were working for all of these different companies. And you look at there's some nonprofits there. There's some for-profit. I particularly like that one right there. But you know, they worked for some pretty prestigious companies, and so Rotary hired them to do this survey, and they looked at over 20,000 Rotarians and non-Rotarians, and it showed that while there is a awareness of Rotary worldwide, the understanding of what Rotary does and our impact is really not clearly understood. And so the two questions, why did you join Rotary and why do you stay in Rotary? Look at this. 30% join for friendship, 35% join to positively impact their community. Okay? Why do you stay in Rotary? Look at that. 74, almost 75% of the people stay for friendship and to make an impact in their community. Now, those are interesting statistics, but if you think about this, I'm a lawyer. What do I have? Clients, right? What do doctors have? Patients. And what do we have as a Rotary Club? Our members. So wouldn't it be good for us to know what our members want? I mean, think about that for a minute. If you're a Costco corporation and all of a sudden people stop coming to the store, you're going to want to find out what's going on. And you're going to want to make changes in order to meet the customer's expectations, right? So if we're having trouble attracting members and we're having trouble keeping members, maybe it's worthwhile knowing what it is our customers want. Can you agree with that? Okay, so if we look at the data that came in from the Siegel and Gale study, you'll see that, first of all, they want friends and contacts. That's almost 40%. They want to make a local impact in their community. They want to be able to use their skills and passions. And remember, that's not just their occupation. You know, we talked earlier about in our introductions that I like to travel, I like to collect wine, I like to ride my motorcycle. That's really not my job, is it? Those are my skills and passions that I enjoy doing. So people that join Rotary want to be able to use their skills and passions and working with leaders. Now, how many of you are a president or an incoming president? Quite a few. Are you president now?
Apparently so, because my president just announced he's leaving early.
Okay. Step right up. So, when you joined Rotary, did you think to yourself, okay, in 2018, I'm going to be the president of my Rotary Club?
No.
No. And I don't think any of us did when we first joined Rotary. That's the neat thing about our Rotary system. We grow leaders from within. Once again, I know I mentioned the Costco Corporation a few moments ago, but you know that most of the people in upper management in Costco started out pushing carts or putting jars of spaghetti on the shelf or being a cashier. They work their way up through the system, and Costco grows its leaders from within. When's the last time you saw an ad in the paper that said, Tacoma 8, interviewing for president for the club, non-Rotarians, please apply? No, we never see that sort of thing, do we? Because we grow our leaders from within. So when it says working with leaders, we're not just talking about rubbing elbows with leaders in the community. We're also talking about the leaders within the club and the leadership skills that we learn. So these are the 4 primary things that our customers want. We know this from the survey. It's hard empirical data, and we know that these are their 4 top items. So maybe we should meet those needs of our customers. What do you think? Yeah? Okay. Well, let's go into this a little bit deeper. The old adage, remember the radio station WIIFM? What's that stand for? What's in it for me? Exactly. We got to make sure that our club is delivering a product that is meeting the needs of our customers. And that is the Rotary Brand Experience, what we experience when we visit the club. You know, retention is what we're going to be focusing on today, but retention actually starts with attraction. Think about that for a moment. Remember, who played with magnets when they were a kid? Yeah, quite a few of us. What happens if the poles are opposite? Repel. And so we're going to be talking about the Rotary Brand Experience beginning right at the first time that you ever mention the word Rotary to someone. In other words, you went to the chamber meeting and they said, hey, we're all members of Rotary. The Rotary Brand Experience started right then because they started telling you about Rotary. And we've got to make sure that messaging is aligned all the way through, or it can repel, just like a magnet. So, are we giving our customers what they want? That's going to be the question, and the Rotary Brand Experience is going to be the product. So, Wendi?
Thank you, Steve. Exactly, Rotary Brand Experience. So think about brand for a moment, and think about this. This is a logo representing a brand. What do you think about when you see that? Expensive?
Cooler motorcycles than
Okay.
ultimate driving experience.
Ultimate driving experience? Okay. High maintenance? Okay, so everybody has these ideas in mind. Now, some of you may own a BMW, and some of you may not, but you still have an experience with this brand. You don't have to own one to have an experience. What about this brand? Okay, people see this. We're all Rotarians, so we have a certain Rotary Brand Experience, and it hopefully involves things like fun, inclusive, and welcoming, friendships. So hopefully you can identify with these. Service projects for our Lions friend. What else? What do you think about when you see the Rotary brand or the Rotary logo? Polio eradication. Anyone else? Clean water. Okay, so you're thinking of service projects. Good. Well, every one of us has something that we think about, and everyone out there who is not a Rotarian has things they think about. And so we want to make sure that this has a greater representation. It's only one aspect of the Rotary Brand Experience. Every interaction that you have as a Rotarian counts. Steve mentioned that a little bit earlier. It's not just your club meetings. Think about beyond your club meeting, going outside. When you meet people, how many people have bumped into someone wearing a Rotary pin out in public or on an airplane? Anybody have a license plate frame on their car or a big Rotary sticker on the window? Some of you are nodding. Hopefully you don't cut people off rudely, because what's that going to be? That's a negative Rotary Brand Experience. So it goes both ways. You have positive and negative. And those are things we need to think about. We want to make sure that we have positive brand experiences. So if you're one of those drivers, you better shape up how you're driving. We want people to see that and think kind thoughts. Part of Siegel and Gale, in addition to the large study that they did, is they helped us to look at our overall kind of what is the essence of Rotary? What is it about Rotary that sets us apart and makes us different from other organizations? And these are called our building blocks. And the first is our essence. And you might have heard this before, expressed as join leaders, exchange ideas, take action. And that's not really just a saying or a slogan. That's really what we're all about. This is what we do. We also have values. And our values are things like friendship, integrity, diversity, service, leadership. And those aren't things that we take lightly. We take those things seriously. And we express that in statements such as, we build lifelong friendships. How many of you have been friends with people for more than 10 years because of Rotary? Probably people that you wouldn't have known any other way. We honor our commitments. We appreciate diversity. Those are all things that are part of our values as a club and on the greater scale. And then our voice. Our voice is the way we talk about Rotary, the way we communicate about Rotary. And it's really important that we have a common tone and a common message. As we mentioned earlier, if your message goes different directions, how does someone really know what Rotary is? It's important that we have all of these things that we present in a common voice. That's all part of the Rotary Brand Experience.
And so the Rotary Brand Experience actually begins right at the beginning, from the very first time that someone comes up to you and asks, "What's Rotary?"
Oh, hey, Julie, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Great, oh, thanks. Your Rotary pin. I've seen you wear that all the time, but I don't know what Rotary is. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Sure. Well, it's kind of like a club. We get together once a week and we have lunch. Some clubs have dinner. So we meet for lunch and it's, the food's okay. It's not that great. Well, sometimes it is. And, it's about 36,000 members, I think. No, 36,000 clubs, that's what it is.
Okay.
1.2 million members.
Gotcha, okay.
So yeah, 1.2 million members, and I think, what else? We hang out a lot.
Yeah.
And we get together and help the community a little bit.
A little bit? Okay.
It's been around for a long time. I think it was started in Chicago by this guy named Paul Harris. Paul Harris? Yeah, Paul Harris.
Oh, okay.
And
Great.
I don't know, that's about it.
That's
yeah,
great.
it's a good time. That's it. That's all Rotary is. See ya. I gotta get back to work. Julie, is that order ready?
He's pretty excited to come to a Rotary meeting now, huh? So what is Rotary? How do you answer that question, what's Rotary? When you came in today, you got a little card. Everybody get one of those little business cards? Now this is a canned response to the question, what's Rotary? What I'm going to have you do now is turn to the person next to you and ask them, what's Rotary? And you can either read from the card, but remember you want to include those 4 elements: friends and contacts, local impact, skills and passions, and leaders. Remember, those are the 4 things our customer wants. So when you answer the question, make sure you incorporate those 4 elements. All right? Go ahead and turn to the person next to you and ask, what's Rotary? So how'd that feel? Did it feel a little awkward at first? Was everybody able to answer the question incorporating the 4 elements? Good, good. Well, what I'd like you to do now is open your workbook to pages 8 and 9. And we're going to take a short survey on what's the current Rotary Brand Experience of your club. Okay? Pages 8 and 9. And if you don't know if it's something between yes and no, just leave it as a no. Okay? Just take a couple minutes and fill that out.